Hey, welcome back to Sober Now. I'm Jim LaPierre. Today I'm going to talk about kind of a difficult topic, which is the possibility of detoxing at home. Specifically, I've been getting a lot of questions around, is it possible to go through the detox process with benzodiazepines from home? And of course, I'm going to give some practical and pragmatic advice. I'm going to have to preface myself, which I hate doing, by saying I'm not medically trained. I'm an addictions expert and I have a long, extensive background in mental health. So I'm not one to give medical advice, but I understand. I'm a realist. I know that for some of us, health insurance or financial cost is a barrier to detox. I know for others of us, just the availability of beds, especially in rural areas, is very scarce. And for some of us, the possibility of having something on file, something in our medical records, might be career suicide, or for whatever reason, going through a traditional detox just isn't an option. First, foremost, and always, if you can consult with your primary care physician, please do so. I always say, lie to everybody, but don't lie to your doctor. Two most dangerous substances to detox off of: alcohol and benzodiazepines. Usually people think of opioids or what we've referred to in the past as hard drugs like cocaine and methamphetamines. All of those are a certain amount of hell to go through the withdrawal process from. But in the case of alcohol and benzodiazepines, they are potentially fatal. And so we need to take a little bit of extra care. It's always best to titrate instead of jumping to simply going cold turkey and withdrawing completely. Titrating is really just as simple as reducing the amount of the dose over time. In the case of benzodiazepines, prevailing medical science says a quarter milligram per week is about as much as we want to titrate and have that be a safe endeavor. So the biggest risk in doing a home detox is the possibility of going into convulsions. And no matter what, have somebody with you through this process. And if at any point you simply seem to be unclear as to what is reality and what is not, if you go into convulsions, seizures show some type of severe reaction, at that point we should go to the emergency room no matter what, and best to go by calling an ambulance. If you are able to safely, slowly titrate down off of a benzo, then be prepared for a lot of discomfort, a lot of intense flu-like symptoms. It's going to be really... It typically begins 12 hours after you stop taking the substance. The climax of a detox tends to be between 3 and 4 days in. For most folks, it feels like the worst flu of your life times 10 for about 7 days. Now, depending upon your age, your general health, how long you've been using the substance, there's a lot of diversity, a lot of variance in this experience. I've known folks who went through it and said, wow, that wasn't so bad. And I've known plenty of folks who it just was a living hell for 7 days. The detox process, of course, isn't over at 7 days. It's just that's when the worst of symptoms tend to subside. Typically, folks tend to have a profound awareness for the first 30 days that their body is still going through a lot of changes. But the truth is, especially if we've used benzos or alcohol long-term, the body's going to be detoxifying for up to a full year. And a lot of that is more subtle change that we don't necessarily notice, but our liver, our gallbladder, our pancreas, all of those organs continue to slowly improve and show better health. I can't underscore this enough. If you're going to go through a process like this, don't go through it alone. Have loved ones there with you. Have people who can be supportive and who have the ability to identify but also act on a medical crisis. That's really the biggest safeguard. I don't wish this process on anyone, but I know that at some point, moving towards abstinence, moving towards being substance-free is our goal. And so I just want you to be safe about that. I want you to have a lot of water, Gatorade, liquids that have electrolytes, liquids in the form of juice, milk. All of those are really super important. They're an easy way to get some calories and some vitamins and minerals, especially because in the short term, we don't want to eat anything. So bear those things in mind. Please write to me with your questions. Please, at all possible, check in with your primary care physician about what it is that needs to change in your life and what your goals are. And please write to me with your questions, jim@sobernow.com. Please give me a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button, share with friends and families, and let's just keep extending this conversation. Please take good care of you and yours, and have a great day.